Have no fear, Mike is here.
What's going on, everyone? Trying to get some stereo in this car.
What are we putting in today?
We need some fancy Sony stuff. So we've got some Sony three-way speakers, which is most people don't go to this extreme. So we're gonna get all three woofers in here without even noticing that they're in the car. Amazing.
So are you just being nice about the Sony thing because you know I like Sony?
No, I actually like Sony product. It's a really good product. You know, even from the sponsorship days when they had defective amps,
right?
And they were like straight up, hey, we have a defective amp, but we're sending you new ones. So even a company that has faults, they catch their faults and then they help you out. So they've kept my belief as well. It's just not a common product because car stereos is not available everywhere anymore. And yes, there's stuff online, but if you don't know your product, you might not be able to find it. And we also had a hard time finding somebody in Canada who could actually get this for us. So
that's right. So excited to see what all this is going to sound like once it's wired up. So I'll let Mike carry on with that. I'm going to put some of this wires. Is this like knockoff Dynamat?
Correct.
Is it just as good as Dynamat?
It's the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure they even make it in the same warehouse. It was just that, hey, we don't have to charge this premium brand and we'll still make money off of it.
So here we go. Mike wasn't here, so I took it upon myself to start getting this all Dynamated up. So, or wires up. Hopefully things sound good. Anyways, we're gonna get this sorted and test out the sound. Go ahead and plug in our motor on this side. And everything seems to be good to go. So we'll clean everything up here. Excuse me. All right, so it looks like everything is working properly. We'll get the door lock solenoid riveted in on this side. We'll grease up all of our gaskets and connections here, and everything should be good to go. All right, guys, so we have finished our passenger side in terms of the installation of the window regulator. So everything just needs to get buttoned up and cleaned up there. Next, we're going to move on and install the power trunk release latch here on the trunk lid, because the wiring is actually there by default. It's just actually a matter of changing out the latch. So this is actually a super quick win for anybody to essentially just replace this unit with a power one, plug in the wire, and then you install the trunk release button that you would normally find in the glove box, or if you have a keyless entry system, you can obviously hook that up and then be able to pop your trunk without having to use the key every time. Just like that, the factory unit is out. Here we go. And the only difference is the fact that obviously there is this solenoid that is built in right here. So this is plug and play. You should be able to find the wire up in where the license plate bulbs are, and you essentially just plug that in there. And like I said, once you get the button connected inside the glove box, you're good to go. And for those that were skeptical, here's the wire right here. See how easy that was? I didn't take this apart before. I didn't do anything fancy or any magic. That's the connector. You plug it in and voila. Installation is the same or the reverse of what you did to take everything out. All right, so we're going to be mounting the tweeter and the A-pillars now. People might wonder, why would you drill holes in your pillars. Well, on the driver's side, it's actually got a full pillar pod anyways. So that's an aftermarket piece, so I don't mind drilling that. On the passenger side, these are readily available at the end of the day, so it doesn't really bother me that we're going to drill and mount these tweeters in there. It'll actually be a really nice clean look as well. They're super shallow, so we're going to go ahead, drill out our hole, get this mounted in here. It's going to sound real good. Alright, so I'm going to measure this from the back, use this as the template, drill the hole in the center, and use the hole saw, and we'll finish the job. Oh, you mean just to hold it in there? You got a glue gun? Huh?
Died.
What?
Actually, I have a new one, but it's in the house.
Is that so?
Do you have black glue?
I'll go get that fuck.
Do you have black glue is all I'm asking.
Black glue?
Yeah.
Black glue, like silicone?
No, like black glue to put in the hot glue gun.
No, I got blue.
You got blue?
Blue.
Blue glue.
Blue glue.
You can't be using blue.
Can't see blue glue. Oh, blue glue.
Because it's compatible, it doesn't damage the paint. That's why it's blue.
Uh-huh.
It's for the dent hole.
Look at this fancy snap-on. How much is this? Snap-on, the good stuff.
Doesn't matter anymore. The electrical one died and I bought it.
All right.
It's all that matters, I needed it.
So, you needed it. You have to have it.
The suit part is fixing a tail light the hard way, so I went up getting the fucking glue gun, and you wanted the glue gun, so I went and got it.
Well, I should sand that down. All right. There we have it. Would be nice to have some black glue though.
It's funny you've never heard of it.
We're just wrapping up our power window and door lock conversion on the car, getting the stereo all tidied up and wired in. So just about to put the door panel back on this passenger side. Driver's side is all done. Looking good. Here comes some more stuff. What do we got?
We got the amp.
All right.
It's gonna be the last thing to hook up. The deck's hooked up. The speakers are ready to go. We just need to get power,
Nice.
and then we should have some sound.
All right. Put that Optima to
Also
work.
got new rigs, so we don't have to drill them.
Good stuff. So nice big passive crossovers. Definitely need to do some trunk cleanup.
A nice custom install. That'll
Are you gonna do that?
another day? Yeah, another day.
All right, door panel back on. All our wiring done. And the head unit. Installed.
I can't find it.
So here we are back at Dale's shop. As you can see behind me, we managed to get the number 5 car all the way over here safe and sound. Is about a 20-mile drive. Everything went all right. Temperature was okay. No complaints. It actually drove quite well, other than the alignment and balance issue on the tires, because it was a little shaky at certain speeds, but nothing that shouldn't be able to get fixed. Hopefully we can get it out to that De Silva show. And we picked up our black interior for the blue car, which is now here as well. So next week we'll be working on that black interior conversion on the 1989 Saline clone. So right now, back on the silver 93 DECH Coupe that we did the power window and door lock conversion yesterday, and just testing out some speaker and stereo stuff here. As you can see, my trunk is a disaster, and this is something that is the last step to get cleaned up and custom install for the air tank and battery and all the stereo stuff. So it's not going to stay that way, but it's just one of those things that you want to make sure everything is done and everything is complete, and then do a proper outfitting for all of that. Other than that, the interior looks great. Everything works as it should. Got those mint door panels in, and everything is working properly. As I mentioned, now we got power locks, power windows, and can control everything from the driver's seat, which is one of the most important things. One other thing that we did today, super quick and easy, was installed the LMR antenna delete plate. So that definitely cleaned up the look of the car, because who needs a nasty looking radio antenna this day and age when obviously we're all streaming Bluetooth or whatever else. So that pretty much concludes a lot of the work on the silver car, and just going to clean up the stereo as mentioned. And tomorrow we're going on a road trip. We're actually going to look at a 1996, which is an SN95 DECH car, and it is an original DECH that has all of the suspension components, including the ASG, which is the advanced suspension geometry. It's actually installed on this car, and believe it or not, the unit that's on this car is the one that was on the white number 5 car. So the ASG was actually never built for the Foxbody. It was built for the SN95. However, because the platforms are essentially the same, you can bolt them in fact onto a Fox. So I made an offer on this car almost 2 years ago, and I actually wired this guy $1,000 and told him to hold on to the car for me because I want it. Why not add to the DECH collection and have something super cool marking DECH history. The other interesting thing about the car is not only the suspension, it has the DECH front splitters that were made, and the DECH AFD version 3 spoiler on the back, and it's super cool. It actually has a built motor as well, so we're going to be checking that out tomorrow, and I'm super excited for obvious reasons. I've never owned an SN95 car, so this could be my first one. The one challenge in this whole story is that the seller has actually been happy that I haven't been so pushy to actually pick up the car, because he was actually hemming and hawing if he actually wanted to sell it after I gave him that $1,000 and showed my commitment to buy it. So it's going to be really interesting to meet him and to see if I can pull this car away from him and drive it down the road. So stay tuned for that.